welcome back to another episode of Blue Flag Bandits, the series that takes us from the back of the grid in 2010 all the way through to hopefully the present day. And we are into round 12 of our first season in 2010, driving the Virgin Racing VR01, and the middle of the season so far going pretty well. Let's take a look at the standings. I'll talk you through the season so far. We sit 8th with 48 points, 4 ahead of a 7-time world champion in Michael Schumacher, and well above not only the in-game team's expectations, but mine as well for driving this car in this particular field. At the top of the standings, you've got Mark Webber ahead of Sebastian Vettel, with Lewis Hamilton 3rd, Fernando Alonso 4th, and Jenson Button in 5th, all past 100 points at least. Felipe Massa in 6th, not far away from that, nor is Nico Rosberg in 7th, really. Beneath Michael Schumacher, you've got Kubica, Sutil, Petrov, Liuzzi, Buemi, Hulkenberg, Kobayashi, Barrichello, Alguersuari, De La Rosa, all with points. And then it's Karun Chandhok leading the new team drivers other than myself, with his best results so far. I think it was 12th, actually, possibly in the last round, maybe the round before. He's been knocking around in that higher midfield a few times, ahead of Heikki Kovalainen and Bruno Senna, Jarno Trulli and our teammate Lucas Di Grassi at the back. In the Constructors, Virgin Racing sits 6th, but just 2 points behind Renault, so that 5th place could actually be a fight we're involved in. Red Bull far and away at the front of the field, with McLaren having a little bit of a buffer over Ferrari, who've got a bit more of a buffer over Mercedes. Force India are a little bit off us in 7th, with Toro Rosso, Williams and Sauber all in single digits, while HRT lead Lotus at the back of the field. And you might be looking at that going, how the hell have you got 48 points in a Virgin Racing car with AI set to Legendary? Which, if you go back to the introduction to this series and the introduction to 2010, you'll know that we're on the Legendary AI difficulty. Well, essentially, it looked like it was going to start so very well. We took a point in Bahrain, and then we had a string of very uncompetitive results through either mistakes or just lack of speed. A disqualification in Spain, probably our low point of the season. But then we came good. Turkey in the top 6, Canada 2nd, Valencia up in the top 10 as well. Silverstone not so great, but Germany we bounced back last time out and finished 3rd after leading the early stages of the Grand Prix. So we've well surpassed beating Virgin Racing's real world scores and finishes, and also beating HRT and Lotus, which was really the key aim of this series in the first point. And next season we'll be in Lotus, then we'll be HRT, and then it's a little bit of a bounce around the likes of Mana Marussia, Caterham, and then it's into the McLaren Honda years, the Sauber Williams Haas triumvirate, who find themselves at the bottom more often than not. But way back in 2010, these 3 teams were a huge distance off, and Virgin Racing actually finished bottom of the pile. So we're already surpassing that, so that's good. However, we're about to hit a track in the Hungaroring in Budapest that I struggle driving. They say it's like Monaco without the walls, and we did okay in Monaco, I guess, until we didn't. We were up in 9th at one point, and then found ourselves making mistakes on an alternate strategy. Didn't really work out. So this race I'm not particularly looking forward to, but hopefully, just hopefully, we can at least have a solid result rather than the disaster class of the likes of Silverstone or Barcelona. So let's get into practice, try and feel our way around this circuit in F1 2010 while we talk a little bit about the 2010 Hungarian Grand Prix. Here we are then. The 2010 Hungarian Grand Prix held at the tight and technical Hungaroring. And unlike previous rounds, there were very few changes in advance to the cars for this one, though there was still some fallout, particularly in the press, from the Ferrari team order scandal in Germany. Sakon Yamamoto was also still in the HRT in place of Karun Chandok, but no other teams took the options to change drivers for the race, other than their standard first free practice changes.
You're showing good pace for qualifying at the moment. Keep it up.
This was a fairly standard affair. Red Bull led the way while Lotus led the new team battle, though Hamilton was left lagging behind somewhat in the first session. An undisclosed technical problem curtailed his running during that first period. There were some spins due to that dusty Hungaroring track, though everybody made it through unscathed. First session was another one to forget for Force India though. They were running Paul di Resta in their free practice programme, and much like Germany there was a bit of a tyre mix-up. Di Resta got Liuzzi's tyres, which led to a €5,000 fine for Force India. Qualifying was held with a threat of rain, although that didn't really materialise during the time, meaning that, as was standard by this point in the season, the new teams were eliminated in Q1, though Timo Glock did manage to put his VRO1 ahead of the other new teams by a narrow margin. Rui Kobayashi was the other driver to drop out, though he was on a flying lap good enough to get through at the end of Q1 before encountering traffic near the end of the lap, leading him to pull into the pits and abort his lap. In his frustration, he missed the scrutineering weighbridge and he was handed a 5-place grid penalty by the FIA, really compounding what was a miserable qualifying session for the Japanese driver. Jenson Button and Michael Schumacher were the big names to find themselves eliminated in Q2, while Nico Hülkenberg got his Williams into the final session alongside the Sauber of Pedro Della Rosa. These two drivers, along with Petrov in the Renault, were surprised to get through, however, which left them with no fresh sets of tyres to run in Q3. It was Red Bull at the front of the order, Vettel from Webber with Alonso in behind. Hamilton made it into 5th place, just behind the other Ferrari of Massa, after just not quite being able to hook up the lap through that third part qualifying. As the race started, Fernando Alonso pulled up another great start out of his hat to get past Webber into second, while Vettel led everybody away. Petrov jumped Hamilton further behind, though only for one lap, while Kobayashi made some moves from the back to make his way up to 16th position. Vettel began to streak away, and it looked like it was going to be a fairly domineering victory for the German, until Vitantonio Liuzzi lost his front wing at turn 11 after an undisclosed incident. Nobody actually saw who he'd collided with, or what, for that matter, and that necessitated a safety car. Vettel just about managed to get into the pits in time, while chaos kind of erupted behind him. First, Rosberg left the box with a loose right rear tyre, which ended up hitting Williams mechanic Nigel Hope, who was bruised, but otherwise okay. And during the pit stop for Kubica's Renault, he was released into the path of Force India's Adrian Sutil. It ended Sutil's race immediately, and Renault were fined, while Kubica was given a 10-second stop-go penalty. The drama didn't end there either. Webber had jumped Vettel by not making a pit stop, but Vettel was issued a drive-through penalty for failing to be close enough to the rear of the safety car, a penalty which saw him fall behind Alonso on the road, unable to get by at this tricky circuit. Webber began to move as fast as he could to enable him to pit and get back out in front, which he managed to do, while other championship protagonist Lewis Hamilton retired with a gearbox problem. The only other notable incident came when Barrichello attempted to pass his former teammate Schumacher on the start-finish straight. The German nearly drove the Brazilian driver into the pit wall. It's a fairly iconic image from this race. Schumacher was issued a 10-place grid drop for Belgium post-race. Webber took a comfortable win, ahead of Alonso, who held off the challenge of Vettel to take second. The top 10 was rounded out by Massa, career best finishes for Hülkenberg and Petrov, both Sauber cars, Jenson Button and Barrichello nicking that 10th place. All three new teams secured double finishes for the first time as well, albeit still occupying positions 14 to 19, with Lotus inevitably leading the way of the three new teams. What is our objective for this tricky, technical Monaco without the walls type circuit? Well, it's not somewhere I'm really very quick with. Much like Monaco, it's going to be all about just avoiding traffic, I think, and trying to hook a lap up. But because it's not a speed power circuit, this might actually be playing into the VRO1's strengths. I think we can at least make it some way into Q2, but maybe not quite the top 10. So let's aim for a 12th place and see if, much like Monaco, we can use that to catapult our way forwards. And here we sit in the garage for qualifying for the Hungarian Grand Prix of 2010, and practice has been consistent, shall we say. Had some R&D objectives, so did one lap in P2 and P3 just to tick those off the list, make sure that we're definitely getting those upgrades at some point in the season, and we finished 17th in all three sessions. So consistent, clearly. Didn't feel so bad through the track. There are a few bits that can catch you out here, especially with auto spin curbs in this game. But I'm not too underconfident, but I'm not massively confident we're going to get too far through with qualifying. But I tell you what, let's go out on the track, see what our best lap in Q1 nets us.
That's second place. You're currently in second place.
Into the fastest lap in Q1, and it's taken a couple of laps to get where we are, but as you can see, we're already ahead of the likes of Buemi and Button, and not far behind Michael Schumacher. Fairly clean through turn 1, which is probably better than we've done in the first couple of laps. Had some traffic as well, which will be a problem all the way through qualifying here. But nice and clean through 3. 4 is always a tricky one in this game. Take enough of the curb on the inside, get a little wide on the outside, but not far enough to really warrant any penalties. Really nicely through 5, which is a nice change. And we managed to hook the chicane up just right, get a little bit of the sausage curb on the inside, but it doesn't unsettle us too much. We then take a bit of grass there. It'll be a recurring theme, trust me, for the rest of this one. But keeping it tidy through the middle section out towards the end of the lap. We're quite a way up at this point and starting to slip down the order as the faster cars put their laps in, but looking at the times, we're already feeling like we should be okay. Very wide up and up in the corner, but we managed to keep the power on and get a nice line through the final corner, and then it's just a dart to the line, and that lap will see us through.
Great job. We're through to qualifying 2.
An unexpected result there, but we're P5 at the end of Q1. Just seemed to come alive on the option tyres, still losing a bit of time in the mid-sector as you'd sort of expect. Not really the kind of place you want to be trying to drive fast. Webber leads the way at the end of Q1 with Vettel in second, Alonso third, Massa fourth. And then it's Hamilton, Buemi up there in 7th with Alguersuari in 9th. Between them, Michael Schumacher, then Rosberg, Button in 11th. Sutil, Kubica, Petrov, Hülkenberg and Barrichello all make it through. And then it's the HRTs leading the eliminated in Q1 crowd. Senna ahead of Chandok, then Trulli, Kovalainen, and Degrassi outqualifies both Sauber cars. Kobayashi and Della Rosa out the back. But the unexpected Q2 appearance is next. That now in the garage in Q2 in Hungary, which is not something I expected to happen, that's for sure. seemingly able to just hook it up when the time called for it, and hopefully I can do the same in Q2. Maybe we'll get a real surprise finish out of this one, and if we do, it might give us an opportunity to go for points. But let's see what our best lap in Q2 nets us, and hopefully, fingers crossed, we'll see Q3 as well.
You've fallen down the table. You're currently in ninth.
Fastest lap in Q2, and much like Q1, it's taken a few laps to get into, but even more this time we've had damage and everything. Again, just trying to avoid traffic more than anything else, and we're still just about grasping onto the top 10, which was far and above where we expected we'd be. Turn 1 and Turn 2, actually not too bad on this lap. 3 is a fairly easy, just right-hand king. Turn 4 is going to be one of those places that you need to get right, and again, much like Q1, we get a little wide but not too far. Getting a wide entry and exit through 5, but again, keeping the power on, make sure that we can keep the speed up really neatly through the chicane in the middle of the lap, which is probably the neatest we'll do it all the way through the weekend. And when you get through there, again, clipping the grass like we did in Q1, there's just no good way, I feel, at least on this game, to get through those corners. We're up by quite a distance, nearly half a second, knowing that we've got Hamilton and probably a few others who are easily able to outpace us behind. Into the penultimate corner, keep far enough away from the curb and make sure we don't run too wide. It's then a case of just getting the line right through the final corner, just about avoiding clipping the inside curb, which can throw the car off. But we move up 1 and we're through.
Nice job. We're through to qualifying 3.
And we make it through into the final part of qualifying. It wasn't the greatest of sessions, a little scruffy all around.
We're much higher up the field than we expected to be. Good job.
Thanks, Rob. Yeah, a little scruffy all around in that session. Had to use the new set of option tyres, which I was really trying not to, but just couldn't seem to get the lap. Traffic is a bit of a problem here, and was so in that session, but Vettel didn't seem to mind. He leads the way ahead of Webber. There's a little gap to Alonso and then a further gap to Massa, and then Alguersuari and Buemi and the Toro Rosso's 5th and 6th. Schumacher, myself, Rosberg and Hamilton will compete in the final session. Button, Sutil, Liuzzi, Petrov, Barrichello, Kubica and Hülkenberg will all drop out at the end of Q2. So let's get into the final part of qualifying and see if we can put ourselves in the middle of the top 10 somewhere. Here we are then, the unexpected final part of qualifying here at Hungary. Coming in with quite low expectations and coming out of this at least 10 places above the team's objective. We had a bit of a scruffy Q2, but I feel like if we can get a lap right here, we might actually get ourselves a decent starting position. So let's go and take a look at the fastest lap in the final part of qualifying.
You're up to 9th with that last lap time.
And the unexpected fastest lap in Q3. First lap we had to really back off because of traffic. Stuck right behind pretty much the entire top 10. So it's not really a representative time. Cleanly through 1, you can see that there's that little train of cars just up ahead. We feel, hopefully, that we're far enough behind them. Neatly through 2, away from all the curbs again. Keeping it just tidy. Through 3, not going too wild on exit. Through 4, we slow down enough, again get wide, but again not too far to worry the car. This time, unlike Q2, much better through 5. Take a bit of the curb, but not too bad. There's a yellow flag ahead as we get into the chicane, and as you can see on the right-hand side, there's a Sebastian Vettel. We very nearly collect the Red Bull, but managed to avoid him. No penalties for going fast through a yellow flag as there would be in real life, and we're actually a bit cleaner through that middle section there. As we get out into this final little blast. Quite wide there, but as you can see, way up, thanks to the fact that we really backed off in the first one. And now all of a sudden we're right behind this little train of cars, hoping they're not going to compromise us too much. We're just far enough behind going into the penultimate corner. We run a little wide on exit, but not too bad. We've got a car going in. Buemi stays out because he hasn't settled out yet. Because he's going to knock us down to 10th. But then, much better, that one through.
Nice work. That's 6th on the grid for tomorrow.
End of Q3 there, and we get a 6th place at the end. We're running as high as 3rd at one point. Still in behind Jaime Alguersuari's Toro Rosso. Great performance from him. But traffic got us on one lap and couldn't then stitch together the next. Sebastian Vettel takes pole by half a second from Fernando Alonso. There's Webber 3rd, Massa 4th. There's Alguersuari. There we are in 6th ahead of Schumacher, Hamilton, Rosberg and Buemi. And you know what? I will take that. That is a far better starting position than I was expecting here in Hungary. So now it's just a case of trying to survive the race. A tight circuit with limited overtaking opportunities, and traffic could easily play a part. But let's cross over to the 2010 Hungarian Grand Prix. Here we are then, sat in the garage for the Hungarian Grand Prix, and we've qualified P6, which is a well above where we expected, and we've been given the opportunity at an interview and a rival selection, and we've gone for Nico Rosberg. So that's going to add a secondary element to this brutal 35-lap race around the Hungaroring. But let's take a look at the stand-ins as we go into this one. The starting grid: Vettel from Alonso, Webber, Massa, Alguersuari, the real star of qualifying, in 5th. There we are, 6th, ahead of Schumacher, Hamilton, our new rival, Nico Rosberg, in 9th, Buemi in 10th. Then you've got Button, Sutil, Liuzzi, Peshrov, Barrichello, Kubica, the Renault's way down, which is good for us, I guess. Hulkenberg, Senna, Chandok, Trulli, Kovalainen, Di Grassi there, out-qualifying both Saubers, Kobayashi ahead of Della Rosa. But as I said, it is a brutal 35 laps ahead of us. At this Monaco without the walls, a tight, twisty location with very few passing opportunities and a lot of places you can get it wrong. And, well, what do we aim for? I think the hope is we can get past Jaime Alguersuari. We do that and use him as our cork in the bottle behind, we might be able to get into a rhythm and scamper away. And if we manage that, who knows? But the target this time, I think, is going to be 5th place, a top 5 finish, with Alguersuari being the main aim for us, especially off the start. But this could be tough. This could be really difficult. If we make one mistake, or we have a slow pit stop, we could find ourselves way down the order and without the pace to catch up. But let's get into it. 2010 Hungarian Grand Prix. Vettel on pole from Alonso, Webber and Massa there. There we are in 6th. There's now our rival Nico Rosberg in the Mercedes in 9th. Di Grassi down at the back. We can see the lights again now. We've only managed to do a few times this season. Away we go though. And it's a decent start actually. Alguersuari's having to come to try and cover us. The other Mercedes of Schumacher goes by. There's Rosberg. Buemi up the inside as well. Let's try and swing around the outside. Can't get Schumacher back, but we do get Rosberg back. We've lost some ground. Oh, it's going too wide up into turn 3 up ahead. Everybody through there clean late. We need to try and catch back up to this little group. Escape there. Got it all wrong into the chicane. There's a Ferrari moving slowly. Hamilton, the man now behind us in the McLaren.
Careful when you try the overtake. Watch for any counter.
Oh, tap the inside curb there. Nearly spanned the car around. I lost the guys in front. Hamilton trying to go around the outside, but he's not going to make it there. defend well enough to stop the cutback, and now he's got Buemi for company, so they can fight behind me. I tend to do between qualifying and the race is to quit back out to the paddock and just split the recording a little bit, make life easier for me in terms of editing. I know where I am, hence the rivalry question between sessions. As I get the chicane all wrong. Degradation circuit, Hungary, and so it's currently proving to be. We'll also push on my qualifying a little bit to try and secure a better position. Which I guess would still be a good thing here. 3 all wrong. Hamilton then tries a look at the chicane. It's not really a place you overtake here, buddy.
We've crunched the numbers and estimate that Schumacher will pit within the next 5 laps.
4 have absolutely scarpered, and we're getting dropped by Adisswanto and Schumacher. We are now the cork in the bottle, and Hamilton trying to find his way by. The entire field is behind us. Hasn't been often that we've been leading a train this season. Surprisingly, we've either had no pace or all of the pace. We've either been mostly out on our own or with only 1 or 2 cars. Monaco, I think, was probably the only other time I can think offhand where we were leading an entire train through most of the field. Getting then that is happening here at Hungary as well.
Your brakes are at optimum operating temperature.
Hamilton has a little look there. And switch back at turn 2. Very wide there. I know Hamilton's in there. Have to cut him off a little bit though.
Ferrari are readying for a pit stop. One of their drivers is coming in. Webber's leading the race.
Webber's in, so we've got cars in the pits. Well, Webber's leading, should I say, so I think we've got cars in for him to take that position. The cars further back taking the option as well. Alonso who came in. So far behind the Ferrari at the front that he's managed to come out in front of us, and I've gifted that to Hamilton.
He's driving down the pit lane. He's in this lap.
We'll go back up the inside of him at 2, a little bit of contact, but I think we're going to just pull in now.
The pit crew have been informed you'll be pitting at the end of this lap.
Quite frankly, I've got no grip.
Limiter on.
The guys immediately behind me stay out. Degrassi's been in already.
Brake for the pit box.
Wow, now bringing somebody in now. As our Force India by the looks of it. And Lotus further back.
Wait for the lollipop.
We've been jumped by a couple of cars. That is
Don't forget to turn the limiter off.
frustrating. We'll make it out ahead of Lucas Di Grassi, but all the way down in 22nd. the first time this season, we've been held at a pit stop. We've been cost positions because of it. Hopefully then on fresher tyres we can try and pull back as we get that all wrong. Fine, warning for that. I was never going to get into the corner. Behind the HRT of Bruno Senna.
Go for the overtake, but watch he doesn't block you when you attempt it.
On the outside into the penultimate corner, there we go. How have we been jumped by Kovalainen? How has that happened? I can't be telling me being held in the pits was that big of a deal. One of the few times this season that we've said, you know what, let's aim for a higher position than where we started. You know, always trying to normally be conservative.
Your engine is at optimal temperature.
How? What? He made the move on Kovalainen and then he just put the power down and swept around the outside. We've tried to be conservative with our objectives, race on race, regardless of where we've started. Even in Canada when we started pole, we said, listen, top 3. Today though, started 6th, sorry, and thought, you know what, we might be able to jump Hockenheim, move forward, have him be a little bit of a roadblock for everybody else, and it's all gone wrong. Without us really making any mistakes or anything like that so far. We're not even able to jump people who've gone into the pits after us. We've really been hard here, qualifying clearly. Flattering to deceive. And that will compound our misery. We are last, with a long time to go in this race. Yeah, I won't. I just need to be able to drive around the outside of here.
Let's give it fewer revs on the straight.
We're on the outside of the Degrassi and we'll block him off, so at least we're...
Next is one of the Lotuses.
Back up ahead of Degrassi. Trulli stuck behind Senna. Trulli came in at the same time as we did. The objective of 5th is long gone at this point. Closest we're getting to 5th is if we get lapped by 5th place.
Getting ready to receive someone in the Lotus garage. Looks like Trulli will be stopping within the next few laps.
Trulli came in behind us. I wonder if they're the AI of 2 stopping. Do it again. And we're back to the back. In the inside curve of the chicane, and then that's it, we're round. Really need to cut the mistakes out of my driver. It's difficult on this game because it's just so easy. sniff some of the curbs in your round. Leader's actually going to come up to lap me soon, surely. Oh dear. Well, we started so well. Turn anywhere near the curb and just run straight off into the grass instead. Looks like we've got a car in the pits. I think that might be Trulli. Say Trulli was coming in, so we might at least be able to jump the Lotus. We do. And we're actually closing on to Grassi.
Prime tyres fitted to the car.
We're going to find ourselves lapped, but here we are with De Grassi. Can't make a move there. We'll be able to in the next corner though. Again, the AI can just put their foot down on the outside, but we make it past our teammate. We raced in Spain and Monaco, but we managed to beat him at Silverstone, which was another pretty dismal afternoon. We'll be 5 seconds clear of De Grassi. We've actually got alright pace, annoyingly.
Senna has just entered the pit lane. Senna is stopping now.
Well, Bruno Senna takes his pit stop and we move up to 21st. I don't think we're catching anybody else today. I'll have Mark Webber for company fairly shortly. At least limit the running I have to do by 1 lap.
You need to let the car behind you past. He's not racing you for position.
There goes Mark Webber. At least this has now become a 34 lap race. Lose the rear there, but it would have become an even shorter race if I'd lost it and put it into the wall. If I only disqualified from 1 race, no DNFs otherwise.
Blue flag conditions. Let the car immediately behind through. You're not racing him.
Let Massa through, you just need him to get a move on, mate. Decent showing from Massa here in Hungary. 2010 would have obviously been a year since the accident he had here.
Wow, that was a big impact. Let me know you're okay, mate.
You know what I was saying about DNFing from a race? Well, there's no way back. Let's just take a look at it. A minute. Did I just get distracted? I think I did. Yeah, I've just gone too deep there, haven't I? Well, that means that we're out of the Hungarian Grand Prix. We weren't really going anywhere. 47G. I don't think it would have. I think it probably would have turned me into mush. But sure, we're done. We're done in Hungary. We are out of the Grand Prix. Is it going to show me results? It will do.
Good drive, mate. I can't believe we're out. Park up. Engine to off.
I mean, we'd already parked up by putting it into the wall there, Rob. We finish last, or we don't finish last. We DNF from the Hungaroring. Trulli is in 23rd. At least Degrassi beat one of the other backmarker teams, beating him there in 22nd. Senna, Chandok, and Kovalainen 19th to 23rd there, all a lap down. The rest of the field, well, Sutil was 18th, De La Rosa was 17th, and it was Kobayashi Barrichello, Button all the way down in 14th, Kubica 13th, Hulkenberg 12th, Petrov 11th, so at least Renault didn't score any points. Rosberg scored one though in 10th with Bohemia 9th, Hamilton was 8th, Liuzzi was 7th, Alguersuari ended up 6th, with Alonso in 5th, Schumacher making up to 4th, Webber, Massa and Vettel your top 3. We drop to 9th thanks to Schumacher's point score. He moves up ahead of us now, 8 points clear. But Kubica still behind us at least. At the top of the standings, Webber leads the way from Vettel. Hamilton is in 3rd. Alonso closing a little bit in 4th. Massa jumps Button into 5th. And Rosberg remains 7th. As I said, Schumacher jumps us. We slip to 9th. We've got Kubica, Sutil, Petrov, Liuzzi, Alguersuari, Boemi, Hulkenberg, Kobayashi, Barrichello, De La Rosa behind us. Kovalainen remains the top no-point scorer, ahead of Kovalainen, Senna, Trulli and Degrassi. That all remains fairly unchanged down there. And in the Constructors, we remain 6th. Still just 2 points behind Renault, who didn't score today, and just now 10 ahead of Force India. Toro Rosso also get into double digits, moving up to 18 points. Williams are 9th with Sauber in 10th, and is still HRT. Lotus at the top, Red Bull practically on the cusp of the Constructors already. McLaren in 2nd, Ferrari 3rd, and Mercedes in 4th. That was, well, not great. Really, was it? We started so well, an unexpected Q3 appearance, and unexpected 6th place on the grid. And the start was all right, could have been better. Managed to hold roughly ranked position, and then we were just the cork in the bottle. Held in the pit stops, fell to the back, and then we just that was a foolish mistake. Just one of those moments I've turned in too early, gone straight into the wall. I am a little embarrassed, not going to lie, because quite frankly, shouldn't be driving into a wall like that. But it is what it is. There are going to be races like this across every season, and Hungary is one of those ones that things like that can happen, and more often than not will. So we get our first DNF of the campaign. We've got a DSQ and a DNF, and well, I'd be quite glad to see the back of the Hungaroring, not a personal favourite of mine. Moving on though, to Belgium next. Thank you so much for watching this one. I know it's probably going to be one that ends with a bit of a laugh at my expense, which is fair. I feel pretty terrible about that. But we'll move on. We move forward. We move to Belgium. And fingers crossed we can have a better time of it at Spa. Like, share, subscribe, do all the good stuff. Take care of yourselves. I'll see you on the next one.